Any other greater challenges today. What I would remind the motorists and the viewers out there is, please drive safely. Don't drive distracted. We have so much technology at our fingertips today, cell phones, navigational devices, that people are clearly placing themselves and others in harm's way when they don't maintain their focus on the task at hand, and that's driving. Put down the cell phone, put down the navigational device, keep your eyes on the roadway, and bear in mind that your primary responsibility is to get to where you're going safely.
Sergeant Jocelyn, thank you for joining us.
You bet.
We have it at $600, right? $600.
Walk it up the
Take
center
a
aisle,
look.
Emma.
Walk it up
Walk.
fast. $600. Get a good look at it. Safety first, especially in L.A. I'd even wear that walking on the streets. $600. Okay, here we go. Forwarding bids from 600. $600 bid going once. I have a 650 bid. I have a 650 bid. 650 bid. 650 bid going once. 650 bid going twice.
Now we're going to spend some quality time with series star Larry Wilcox. Larry played the role of CHP officer John Baker in 5 out of 6 seasons of the show. John Baker was the straight man to his more gregarious partner Frank Poncherello. Baker's most distinctive hallmarks were his blonde baton and his rodeo-style gloves, which pointed to the character's Montana upbringing. Larry Wilcox, the actor, departed the series after season 5 when talks between him and the producers stalled. This was the most significant cast change in the series' history. Season 6, which would mark its last, would be led by Eric Estrada and a host of newer faces. Now that we've got Larry all to ourselves, at least for the moment, we'll talk about that and all of his thoughts on being here today. This is Chin Thomasangsi of Newswire L.A., and I'm here at the Airport Hilton in Los Angeles at the CHiPs 35-year cast anniversary. I had to practice that a couple of times because I totally messed that up. And I'm standing here with series star Larry Wilcox. How you doing this morning?
I'm great. Thank you very much.
You have a very nice turnout starting here, and it's still early in the morning. I've seen a number of your castmates come in. And how does that feel, seeing everybody after all these years?
It feels great. I mean, first of all, to go through that experience and starring in a television series when television was a big deal. There were only 3 networks, so Nielsen ratings were in the 20s. And that was an exciting time. You just don't have that kind of exposure. And have a franchise like CHiPs that was sold to 100 foreign countries in syndication was, really exciting. And yet to come back after all these years and see these cast members, who have gone through all different things in their lives, it's an exciting time. Both personally, it's exciting, and of course, it's wonderful that we're doing this for charity.
Talk to me a little bit about what it's like doing series television. It can be very grueling. Every week you're getting a new script, there's a new show to be shot. You were doing, at that time, probably 24 episodes in a season. Talk to me about how grueling that is, but yet how satisfying it can be with a series like CHiPs.
Well, it's really hard. I mean, with an action series where you're shooting some exteriors outside and then some interiors, usually the days start at 6 a.m. and end at 10 p.m. So that's a long day, 12 to 16 hours usually, or an average day. In those days, we'd shoot 7 to 10 pages a day, and that's unheard of. That's a lot of shooting. We'd use multiple cameras, a lot of stunts. And, as an indulgent young man, it's a great time. You get to have a lot of fun. You make good money. You get to go to all the carnival rides and enjoy them if you're so inclined. And so I'm really grateful. I think it was a good experience. It was a good brand. It was a positive brand. In those days, CHP was, good to be associated with. Police, I always have a special place in my heart for policemen because my military experience in Vietnam, so I'm quasi-military in terms of police. And so here we are doing this for the 1199 Foundation, raising money for policemen killed in the line of duty, and of course, kids at risk with the Optimus Boys School.
I remember a story that I read a long time ago, and you tell me if it was true or not. When your co-star, Eric Estrada, was tragically injured during one of those days, I understand you were one of those people who rode with him to the hospital and even helped stabilize him. Is that true?
Yeah, probably to a lesser extent. I mean, Eric had a really bad accident, and they were giving him his last rites. When I came out of my motorhome, he was lying on the ground, and I did some first aid that you do from Vietnam, treat for shock, which I just did the other day when a lady had an epileptic seizure. Exact same thing in a basketball game with my son. And she fell and hit her head. And in this case, in Eric's case, he was, punctured his lung and had ruptured his heart. And so, first thing is treat for shock and make sure that they're maintaining their breathing and grab the hand to try to reduce any kind of trauma. And make sure that his breathing was correct. And you could see in his eyes, it's an awful statement to make, but death was arriving. And so we took him into the ambulance and took him to the hospital. And luckily he survived, and he's healthy today, and God bless him.
You were with the series nearly its entire run, but you walked away from that series. Talk to me about the trials and tribulations going on in your mind about that.
Well, yeah, it was a hard decision because I think that you have a false belief that you'll have longevity in the film business. There's no such thing. It's an ephemeral lifespan. So I made a choice to become a producer, a director, and a businessman and moved on in my life. And I think it was a good timing and a good choice, but it was a great time to be on CHiPs, and I'm forever grateful, very grateful to everyone, and thank you so much.
And you've got to run off to another interview, and we thank you for interviewing with us. We'll see you throughout the day.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
And that's it for this broadcast of Newswire L.A. coming to you from the CHiPs 35-year cast reunion. If you're feeling a little slighted that we haven't heard more from the other cast members, hold your cards, letters, and emails, please. We'll be back here in our next broadcast, and you'll hear at length from each one of them about their memories of CHiPs and life after the show. I'm Shin Thomasanksi, and we'll see you back here next time. And remember, for everything Newswire L.A., follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Newswire L.A. We'll see you back here next time, and good night. Stay tuned for more news on this Westlake Signal station.